switch randomly going off all the time, and a few weeks ago she told Dad to go downstairs and take the batteries out, which he did. And what happened next is the reason I haven't been in the furnace room ever since. Dad and I were just doing the dishes when... What stinks is that all my old Halloween costumes are down in the furnace room. So unless Mom's willing to spring for something new, I guess I'm not going trick-or-treating this year. Sunday. Well, all the hard work we put into decorating for Halloween yesterday got wiped out. A bunch of geese got at the jack-o'-lanterns in the middle of the night and made a huge mess. Every fall, geese flying south for the winter make a pit stop in our town and stick around for a few weeks before heading back out. Usually, they poop all over the soccer field at the town park, but other than that, they're pretty harmless. But for some reason, this year they're super aggressive toward people. For the past few weeks, me and Rowley have been getting ambushed just about every day on our walk home from school. Honk! And the geese aren't just going after kids, either. Whenever Dad goes out to get the mail, he's got to arm himself for battle with a metal trash can lid. Hiss! Dad wants to call animal control to clear the geese off our street, but Mom won't let him. She says geese have been flocking to these parts for thousands of years, and if anything, we're the ones intruding on their lives. I'm personally fine with animals, as long as they keep their distance. But I think if we don't draw a line somewhere, we're just headed for trouble. My science teacher said that 40,000 years ago, dogs used to be wild animals, just like wolves. But then, I guess they saw our warm fires and cozy caves, and they wanted to get in on the action. So they wagged their tails and did a few tricks, and that's all it took. Nowadays, dogs have it made. People spend all kinds of money buying them gourmet food and cushiony beds. I'm sure the reason wolves seem so ticked off all the time is because they're just jealous they didn't think of kissing up to people first. And cats aren't stupid either. Last summer, Mrs. Fredericks up the street fed a stray cat who was hanging out in her yard, and each night after that, more cats came. Now the cats have completely taken over her house, and she recently had to sell her car so she could afford to keep feeding them. We've got problems with our own pet, which is a pig. Personally, I think it should live outside in a pen or a shed or something, but instead it lives inside the house with us. And not only does it use the same bathtub as me, but I'm 99% sure it's been using my toothbrush, too. And that thing is smart, too, which makes me kind of nervous. In fact, I think it's been trying to learn how to communicate with us. Manny has this toy called a see and talk, where you pull a string and it says a word. Somehow, the pig figured out how to use the see and talk, and every so often it manages to pull together a full sentence. Pig. Eat. Ice cream. Lately, I've been thinking there's gotta be a way the two of us can team up. I've heard a pig's sense of smell is 2,000 times better than a human being's. That talent could really come in handy right about now. Mom always buys the Halloween candy for trick-or-treaters a few weeks early, and she hides it somewhere so the rest of us don't get at it. I've turned the house upside down looking for it, but so far, no luck. And if the pig knows what I'm looking for, it's not being very helpful. This time of year is torture for a kid. There are all these candy commercials on TV, and every time you walk into the grocery store, it's like they're trying to mess with you. But Mom says I can't have any candy until Halloween night, which I think is totally cruel. I think I figured out a way to get my hands on some candy before Halloween, though. My school is having a contest called the Balloon Brigade, which it does every October. Each student gets a helium balloon, and everyone releases theirs at the same time. They give you these little cards to write your name and address on, and when people find the balloons, they're supposed to send them back. The cards say, "Greetings from the Balloon Brigade. Let us know how far this balloon traveled." The school has a big map on a bulletin board near the library, and when a kid turns in a balloon, Vice Principal Roy uses a thumbtack to mark how far it went. At the end of the week, he measures the distance each balloon traveled to find out whose went the farthest, and that kid gets a reward. Last year, Amanda Gennaro's balloon traveled 43 miles, and she won a $30 gift certificate for the book fair. But this year, the grand prize is a giant jar of candy corn, which is sitting in Vice Principal Roy's office right now. The school puts a little code on each balloon so nobody cheats and turns in a balloon from home. But I've never had one of my balloons sent back to me. I need to make sure that whoever finds mine doesn't just ignore me. So I wrote a 3-page letter that I'm hoping will get a response. Because when it comes to free candy, I'm not messing around. To whoever finds this balloon, I am an only child without any friends. I released this balloon, hoping it would find its way to a kind person who might write me back and bring joy to my life. Monday. After lunch today, the teachers led us all out to the basketball court for the big Balloon Brigade launch. I still get kind of nervous about stepping foot on the blacktop because that's where the cheese sat for a year and a half. There's even a stain where it used to be. It's been a long time since the cheese terrorized our school, but I guess some people actually liked having something to be scared of. A few different times, kids have tried to start it back up, but the teachers are on the lookout because they don't want to have to go through all that nonsense again. One kid actually managed to sneak a piece of lunch meat onto the court during recess, but the roast beef touch doesn't have the same ring to it. "You've got the roast beef touch, ha ha!" Still, someone's always trying to start some new thing. This year, it's all about the chairs in the auditorium. The chairs are red, except one, which is yellow and has a busted leg. Apparently, some kid peed on it during a really long assembly last month. And if you're not paying attention and sit in the yellow chair, kids will yell, "Tinkle seat! Tinkle seat!" And then you're pretty much finished for the rest of the school year. If you ask me, people should just be happy the cheese touch is behind us and stop trying to replace it with something else. Because the last thing you need in middle school is anything extra to worry about. Today, Vice Principal Roy did a countdown on his bullhorn, and everyone released their balloons. I have to admit, it was kind of exciting to see all of them go up in the air at the same time. But the excitement didn't last long. Almost all of the balloons went straight into the new cell phone tower they built on the hill next to the football field, and didn't go any farther. Luckily, my balloon was weighed down by the letter I wrote, so it went under the tower, and then it cleared the trees on the other side. I don't think my balloon is going to make it as far as Andrea Gennaro's did, but I don't need it to. As long as someone finds the balloon and sends it back, that jar of candy corn is mine. I just hope they write instead of call. I put Mom's cell phone number on my letter, but apparently it's going to be a few days before they fix the tower and people in town can get service again. Wednesday. It's been 2 days, and still no word on my balloon. I'm starting to get a little worried, because the contest ends Monday, and if nobody gets their balloon back, I'm sure Vice Principal Roy is going to keep the candy for himself. Lately, I've been having trouble staying focused at school, but luckily my homework hasn't been that hard. Our reading assignment was to write a biography on a famous author, so I chose the Spine Tickler's guy. But it turns out there's barely any information out there on him. In fact, the only thing I could find was this little blurb in the back of all his books. Who is I Am Spooky? Almost nothing is known about the mysterious I Am Spooky. All we can say for sure is that he's cooking up a terrifying new entry in the Spine Ticklers series. The good news is that since I wasn't really able to find anything on I Am Spooky, I was finished with my entire author's bio in about 2 minutes. Author biography. Author name, I Am Spooky. Birth date? Question mark. Place of birth? Question mark. Hobbies? Question mark. Education? Question mark. Interesting facts about the author? Question mark. With a name like I Am Spooky, I guess you have no choice but to write scary books for a living. I kind of wish I had never started reading those Spine Ticklers books, though, because once you start reading them, it's hard to stop. And they're starting to affect my everyday life. Going to the dentist was never that much fun to begin with, but after I read Spine Ticklers number 67, it got even worse. Spine Ticklers, My Dentist is the Devil, by I Am Spooky. I've checked out every Spine Ticklers book from the library, and I even borrowed a few Spine Ticklers Jr. books from Rowley so I could keep going. And just like I predicted, the books are starting to give me nightmares. Spine Ticklers number 71 is about this kid who grows a lizard tail and tries to hide it from his family and teachers. Spine Ticklers, Tales You Lose, by I Am Spooky. That one really stressed me out, and the night I read it, I had a dream that I was the one with the tail. Actually, my dream started off really good, because there are a bunch of fun things you can do with a tail that you wouldn't even think of. For instance, you can hold one paddle with your hand and one paddle with your tail, enabling you to play 2 games of ping pong at the same time. In my dream, I wasn't ashamed of my tail. I was proud of it. And I used it to full advantage, even dribbling with it in a game of basketball. The only thing I didn't like about it was that when I got excited about something, everyone could tell, because my tail would wag. Mom, do you think that girl is cute? Me, not really. Tail, wag, wag. Then all of a sudden, my tail became a problem. People got jealous, and the next thing I knew, I was being hunted by an angry mob with torches and pitchforks like I was some kind of monster. I ran for my life and escaped through a window, and the townspeople chased me down the street and through a shopping mall. I almost got away, but then my tail got stuck in the escalator. I swear I could actually feel it happen, and it woke me up. In fact, the dream was so realistic that I turned on the light to see if I actually did have a tail, and I have to say, I was a little disappointed when I realized that nothing was there. That's not the only bad dream I've had because of those books, though. The other night, I had a dream where I was captured by zombie pirates and made to walk the plank into shark-infested waters. For some reason, I kept repeating this stupid rhyme. Step, 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 no, 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 plop, 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 in I go. Unfortunately, I was saying it for real, so now Roderick has a video of me talking in my sleep, saying, step, 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 no, 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 plop, 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 in I go. Sometimes my dreams are so ridiculous I actually know I'm having a nightmare.